everything has changed recently. Haven't we all noticed that?
Well, in what ways, Nicholas Rogers?
Wow, you're not sounding corny at all.
What?
Welcome to
He's
Jabrap.
not.
Welcome to Jabrab, guys. Jabrab. Just Bros recording a podcast, episode 9. I have my co-host here with me, Nicholas, and we have a special guest. Who is this?
Yo, Jack here. That's me.
Well,
I am the guest.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully it's going to be it's a very special occasion. It's our first time ever doing it. It's going to be quite a vibe.
And we have the best homie to start off our guest career with.
Exactly. He said, how long have you guys known each other for? Tell me, what's the backstory here between you two?
Oh yeah, this is Lfritz. He's the homie, he's the G. He makes epic content on his channel. Definitely check him out.
Link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, of course. Or
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
if this goes on Spotify, people will be so confused.
Like, what the- this originally meant to be on YouTube, but yeah. Spotify! Woo!
But
Spotify people.
yeah, it's like, no, I've known him because we met in class one time.
Yeah.
And then he found me online on like a forum or something because my Pink Floyd The Wall video went like kind of viral on it.
Yeah.
And he found me from there, and we started talking online, and I got to meet him again recently, and it's been great. And I thought it would be a really fun time to have him on, just cause I don't know, he's a very fun character.
I mean, yeah, we've been talking about this for months. I mean, when we first, all the way back in like October, even before then, like over the summer, we were talking about getting you on here, and then we just never got to doing it, and that's on us. So I'm so glad to actually have you here now.
Well, granted, we could barely even get ourselves together.
We couldn't even
for,
we
like,
couldn't even get ourselves. And as you started off with, you know, life's been crazy with us. You know, we've all been having emotional changes and stuff. I mean, we've all just been going through quite a lot. Like, you know, it just realizes, you know, like when you step back for a second, you kind of realize like how different everyone is, or like even, you know, like, oh, this is me, you know, because a lot of people, they get like in their own heads there and realize like everyone else is like people around them too. It's just weird to realize like everyone's having like their own issues, their own problems around you at the same time that you're having your own issues.
Do you know what it reminds me of? There's like an actual term for like something like that. It's like the protagonist like syndrome.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I said I'm trying to remember if it's possible to look up right now, but it's I actually learned about that I think like a month or so ago, because when I was like looking into that.
Yeah, because it's like people think that like they're the protagonist in their own story, but they don't realize that everyone else has their own like lives going on, their own friends, their own like ambitions, their own everything, and it just gets you thinking about how like, you know, small, how big the world is, but how small we feel at times. Yeah. I gotta ask you, Jack.
All right.
Like, from how long I've known you, how do you view the world?
That is a broad question.
It's a very broad question, and I know you would give me a very in-depth answer. That's the thing.
You know, I'd like to think I'm pretty positive when it comes to how I view the world. I kind of just am here, vibing, and eventually I won't be here, and I'll be fine with that.
That's a good way to look at things, honestly, and a lot of people don't right now, especially considering all the shit that's happened this past year. It's actually kind of interesting to see how people's moods can shift. Like, even the most preppy optimist can turn into one of the most dour pessimists, you know? From how big of a change has happened in 2020. And I'm glad, you know...
As the Joker says, all it takes is one bad day.
Dear God, you're actually an incel. I can't believe it. I mean...
Oh, no! No, not that word! Like the Wicked Witch would just start melting. Like, I just start... It's like, I've seen a lot of my friends who are, like, very positive. As you were saying, just go full 360 to the idea where they're, like, very negative, or, like, they become, like, cave trolls, like, they like, give up on a hobby, like, a dream that they've been working on, like, for a really long time. And it's sad and it's heartbreaking to see, but it's just kind of how things go on. I mean, Nick, for you, have you accepted death?
No. I'm gonna be truthful here,
Yeah.
because it's like, well, the thing is, I actually was, like you said before, it's like people keep thinking about the future when they should be thinking about the present. I actually was thinking about that today when I was walking my dog. I know,
Yeah.
right? Very interesting scenario.
Well, I mean, I
but
hope
like,
you're going out there and doing that.
no, it's like, I just thought about it. It was like, why am I focusing on if I'm gonna get into like a good college, or if I'm gonna like, have a family, when I should just be living my life right
Yeah.
now and playing like to my strengths,
Exactly.
And it's like, because if I focus too much on the present, then my years, like where I'm most formative, my teenage years, will be wasted just thinking about what I want to do instead of what I could have done.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, Jack, do you usually think futuristically, presently, or like more in the past? Like, where's kind of where your mind leads? Like, do you usually think?
I'd say it's a combination of present and future. I try not to think about like past stuff because that's boring. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
It already
better now
happened,
than I
bro.
was then. At
Yeah,
least
it already happened.
so far, my life's been getting better and better.
Exactly.
I guess if that didn't happen, I'd focus on the past. But it's always nice to look where you're going. I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, especially if you're seeing yourself going on the up and up, it's definitely better to like live in the present and like, try to better yourself every day,
And that's what I think is a good thing is, like living in the the present and in the future. One thing that's good I hear is good for like your mentality, or like just planning for like your future goals, is because sometimes you actually accidentally like get into the present too much and you forget about the goals that you have. So sometimes just writing stuff out like for like a week, or like, so this is my goals for this week, this is like my plan for this week, that actually can like help you go really far away. Even just like when it comes to school, like usually like when you like have like a homework assignments and shit and you're like really worried about it, if you like writing that stuff down, like saying like, okay, I have a list for this, this, and this, it does make you feel better. And if you like apply that for like your goals, like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this week, it really does like help you like improve like your mental like mindset. That's what I've been trying to do recently, and it's really been helping me a lot.
Yeah, I've been trying to read more
That's
as
good.
well. It's like my friend is going to be lending me a book about existentialism very soon. So that's going to be an interesting discussion. When I read it, and I'd be like, holy shit, what did I just read?
Yeah, no.
Yo, if you have,
doubting the
okay,
universe.
this might be a book recommendation for all the listeners to the Just Bros Recording a Podcast, but
Alright.
or it might just be for Nick. Do either of you guys know The Stranger by Albert Camus?
I'm
sounds
going to be
familiar.
reading that. I'm actually going to be reading that, like in my Lang class. That's not even a joke. I'm actually going to be
yeah.
reading that.
It sounds
It's
familiar.
very good.
I've heard it like maybe over like 3 times. So what's it about?
It's about a guy who basically, he's living in a society,
He's living in a society.
and he doesn't
I am living in a society.
he doesn't want to sort of conform to everyone else's moral values, and he just kind of does his own thing. And I don't want to spoil the book, but he does something that a lot of people would see as weird, and he doesn't really see the meaning in it that society would ascribe. So it's
Sort of like a deviant, like in a way a deviant maybe, or not.
Yeah.
Does he just not perceive that it's bad? Like, does he know? Does he have any, like, greater instinct that it is or not?
Well, it's not really a bad action, but technically.
Yeah,
But
so it's like seen
some
as like
people would-
deviant. I got you.
Yeah, and in the last half, he sort of does a lot of things that give, he grows in character. So
and
Yeah.
I'm assuming because, like, he said, like, he's, like, disconnected from society and how, like, everything works. That's why the book's called The Stranger, because he's a stranger to literally everyone. He's estranged from society itself. That's what I'm assuming. That sounds interesting, because I'm going to be reading that in my Lang class. And something interesting that you bring up when you said the word outsider, it randomly reminded me of a video that I watched today, actually, about outsider music. Like, if you've seen the Alpha Media video, it's a fantastic video talking about how, like, music has, like, evolved to the way where it's, like, there's never, like, any originality, but, like, there are, like,
Exactly.
there are, like, these few artists, like, that are just making music to make music, and they have, like, no idea what they're doing, basically. And it's so different and so wild that people are just, like, it may not be, like, great, but you can see the talent and passion. They can see the passion and like charisma in their musicianship. Like the main example that he brought up was the Shags, Daniel Johnston, Wesley Willis, people like that.
That's the one art. I've always been like I've listened to music all the time. And I've like had it. I've never actually had a song that's like, okay, this is this relates to me, or like I actually like truly understand this. Like everyone can be like, oh my goodness, you know, Joji, I've cried to this man. But you know, like Daniel Johnston, like he's the amount of realness, the amount of like tone, like just the seriousness of it, like the raw emotion in it is incredible. And although he passed away just like 2019, he made some amazing stuff. I gotta recommend a lot of songs out there for like whenever we actually just like have a music podcast where we just talk about like music. I'd love to talk more about this. So speaking a little bit more about music, Jack, like do you have any song, like any I guess artists that you would say like are outside, like a little bit of outsiders to you that you like enjoy or like you find comfort in?
I think there's this really indie band called Radiohead.
Here we go. No.
Dude, are they upcoming? Are they upcoming artists?
Yeah. They're actually really small. They're not accessible at all. Like you need to have.
So very underground. I got you.
Let me preface this. I fucking knew when you asked that question, he was gonna say some shit like that. I knew it.
What do you mean, Nick?
He was gonna like.
Have you heard of the upcoming band? Have you heard of the upcoming band?
He was gonna either say like Tame Impala or Radiohead. I don't know what it was. I knew it.
Didn't they just release a new single, like the very first album too, just recently?
Oh. Yeah. No. They're actually really old. Like they're ancient. Yeah.
I don't know, Nick. You should totally check them out. I heard they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite Radiohead song is Creep. Thank you.
Okay, that is, yeah.
No, Nick. Creep is the song that everyone who listens to Radiohead can like. You gotta dive into the albums such as Kid A,
you have to
Computer.
Dive inside the lore of the Radiohead music.
Yeah. In order to actually
just dive into the Radiohead public library.
Yeah.
God.
I'm speaking ironically about Radiohead, but I have a Kid A vinyl right here in the mirror, so like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
Right
I was
on
gonna
my
say.
back wall.
I was just waiting for him to pick up his webcam and just start showing all of his vinyls on his wall.
Speaking of underground, there's everyone has heard some of the songs by now, but like Tiny Tim.
Oh,
like,
he's considered outsider music. Yeah,
as well. He's considered outsider music, and I remember he got really big with like creepy music where it's like, you know, tiptoe through the window, like that was used in like a few horror like things and like that. Like he got well known for that song, but then nobody really took the time to know him for the other stuff, and he's made quite a few songs.
Man, I remember him from a SpongeBob.
First ever SpongeBob episode, baby.
The first ever SpongeBob episode, bro. Like But no, it's kind of a testament to like human nature that like artists like this like are popular, like with like even like with a cult following, you know, and traditionally they would never be seen as, you know, like good musicians, you know what I'm saying? Because our music itself is so formulated and so like contrived that it just seems like it's like a formula at that point. But when you find people like Daniel Johnston, Tiny Tim, like these really outside people that are making something that is just off the wall, bonkers and insane, it's something you gotta take note of, and it's just really impressive.
Well, yeah, and, I mean, the thing is with the like algorithm and everything, like songs are meant to be catchy in 2020, you know, in 2021 too. Like just all those songs are meant to like they have like a certain, as you said, like a whole like pattern, like they have a certain recipe to make them successful. And that's the issue, is they become successful, but then as soon as they become successful, they then disappear as soon as they're there. You know, I mean, they're just one among millions. They're exactly the same, you know, carbon copy, if you will.
Yeah, and that's why these people are like seen like so highly, is because they're unique.
That's why I like Radiohead so much.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's the thing is like I used to listen to like as we actually were talking about earlier. Like I used to listen to like I guess like music producers like OMFG like when I was really young, like the basic stuff.
Oh, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Like OMFG.
Mr.
Like,
Suicide Chief. Yeah.
Mr. Suicide Chief. Like that stuff. Like it was. That stuff really like that stuff. I just liked more because it wasn't the basic, you know, like sex, drugs, or like tractors, cowboy hats. Like it was just music, you know. And that's
I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while, I do like myself a good sex, drugs, tractor, and a cowboy hat song.
If you're having a bad day, just turn on the sex, drug, cowboy man song, and that's a good one.
It's called Ram Ranch, buddy. Get it right.
17 naked cowboys at Ram.
Actually, I think it's called Fatal Fields by Nicholas Rogers.
Nick just almost killed Nick. Nick about peed his pants right there.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hear the sounds of time. Gosh, that is such a. That's an old one right there, man.
Was that one of the Radiohead songs?
No.
It's not quite up there, but
close.
You know,
so
pretty much like right there.
Man, you know, I'm glad that we've deviated so much from the original topic because we had this whole entire topic planned. You know, talk about philosophy, but it's honestly just more fun just to goof around than it is to actually say anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how this whole thing started out. I mean, like, when we first started the podcast, it was more like, okay, let's just turn on the camera, let's go. And I think the last few, I think it works better for two people, as you said, where just if we say, okay, we're having to talk about this, we're going to talk about this, but having three people just, you know, kind of just, it's throwing things out, it's much more, it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
Yeah, because we've tried, you know, like getting a message across, but sometimes the message that needs to be come across is just to have fun and, like, just... You know, say whatever you want to say. Expressionism is very important.
Yeah, well, and that thing is like when we were talking about philosophy and things, like my whole like mentality of things is that I'm ready for death if I'm able to leave something behind that I'm proud of, and that's why I do these podcasts, because I want to someday have my kids, my great grandkids be like, look at this and like listen to this conversation right now and just hear me, I guess, immortalized through like you know, through this, and like not like in like egotistical way, but like, you know what I mean, like it's like I'm there, like I'm still there, a part of them, like in their like, I guess, heart, soul. That's why I find this stuff like relieving to me, you know, because like when I do pass, this will be left. You know,
it's very fascinating, honestly, that like we've gotten to the point where we could be like remembered through like the internet. It's actually very fascinating that we live in like an age like this, you know, where everything's getting so advanced that like hell, like by the time we die, we could be literally put into like the computers.
Guys, let's play Minecraft forever now.
Oh god, that'd be terrifying.
You know, I mean, like that's what I think a lot about. I mean, it's, you know, back then, like your ancestors, they had like portraits of themselves drawn, you know, taken a photo of, and by word they were told about, but we can't probably remember our great grandparents because that's not something they had, you know, to immortalize themselves through. Like they just didn't have it, you know. You don't have any photos of them. You just didn't have that back then, you know.
You know, imagine FaceTiming the void and seeing your grandparents.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yo.
Just go into the void. Like, we get into the future where we can talk with the dead. It's kind of like a spirit box.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
like, we could just...
like it's gonna be like morbidly. I mean, looking back on this someday, because then they're gonna be like looking at like dead, like, you know, gonna be looking at like dead versions of ourselves. And that's
we're gonna be dead.
Yeah, we're gonna be dead, and then this podcast is gonna be up, digitalized forever, and we're gonna be here like. We're gonna be dead at some point. We're gonna be watching this. Like, we're very much alive. We're very much breathing. Very much, you know, all that. But then someday they're gonna look at this and be like, these guys are like not there. But speaking of that, like, general with like photos, Jack, like, do you guys have any like family, like really old family portraits of like your great grandparents or anything?
I mean, I don't really care about any of my dead relatives.
I guess so. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's like a whole like mindset too. I'm just one of those. I'm just a very like nostalgic person. Like I'm trying to like reach back into like our family history, and I've only gone to like great because I know we come from Germany, the whole reason we're here in the U.S. is because we were getting persecuted for being Catholic in like the 1800s, somewhere around the 1800s. And we came here like, we're gonna become milk farmers. Yeehaw! And so that's what my great grandparents did.
Is that what your last name is? It's German?
Yeah, my last name is German. It's like when you go from Germany to America, usually you have to change your name slightly. So our original name is BL, then O, then has 2 dots on it, then MER. And I'm pretty sure that means flowerer or gardener. And I have no idea why. But, yeah.
See, my last name means one who Rogers. So, man.
What is Rogering?
I'll show you.
Guys, this is a PG. This is a rated PG podcast, guys. You can't say that. No.
I'm sorry. Is two? Oh God, that's your dick.
I guess I'm right here now, guys.
The irony.
Hey there.
I love the irony. And
How is there
it's a PG
irony?
podcast.
How is the irony?
It's a PG podcast. Camera falls right on your dick.
Grandkids, you did not see that. Grandpa did not just do that. All right.
Well, I mean, your parents. Well, I mean, granted, your grandkids will be thinking, man, that's where my parents came from.
Ah! I'm leaving. I'm heading out of this.
Or one of them, hopefully. Hopefully not both of them.
Oh yeah, hopefully not both of them. Hopefully not both of them. You got a good point. You've got a great point there.
Got a great point.
And one of my favorite things, that I've noticed about you, Jack, is okay. I do want to talk about this for 1 second. I don't know if you want to, but I don't know what it is. You have a different thinking of the world sometimes, and I like it. Because I remember you've gotten into a lot of shit for a lot of stuff you said online. This
is true.
Because, like, even though your opinion isn't technically wrong, people just are just like, what the fuck? It's, okay, so, it's like, you avidly say that, like, some things are just not intrinsically wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Well, nothing is the point. Adam brought up incest. Okay, so
What?
Well, you said both the parents would come from you, so that's very unfortunate.
I did that. Did
so
not
I think
come
that's what
into me. Those
yes, it
words
did.
not
That's
come
what
from
you
my
said,
mouth.
Adam. That's what you said. And I think Nick took that, and he was like, "Whoa."
Nick formed an even
Jack's been
scarier
weird
conversation.
online.
Mine was not that way. Please forgive me.
Well, no, I just noticed it because, like, you've been posing arguments against stuff like, what was it? It was like bestiality.
Mainly just, well, I mean, I like doing all the big four are bestiality, pedophilia, necrophilia, and incest, and I would say, 2 of those are okay, in certain like circumstances.
I got you.
Which ones are the ones that are okay?
No, I mean, like,
those
that's
being
like,
incest and necrophilia.
Incest and necrophilia. Okay.
Yeah, and those are generally like interesting topics. I mean, that's the thing is like it's.
I actually want to pick at your brain for a second because you never really told me why. Because
wait, monkey
why
noises.
do you believe?
Pick your brain.
Why do you think those things? Well, I mean, necrophilia. Sorry, you can go.
I think it's just interesting because most people are grossed out by all those 4 things, but can't really justify why they're wrong. And I think it's really interesting that it's interesting to know why pedophilia is wrong and why bestiality is wrong and things like that. So, and if it's not wrong 100% of the time, why it's not necessarily bad to do in every case. And I just think it's just fun because most people don't think about it.
Because it's also like back in like the 1800s when like white men were trying to like marry Native American women, like they were 13 and having children, they were married off young. So like this is definitely a new thing, a new construct that people have developed that we can't,
I mean that's something I find like interesting is like as you're saying is like the whole idea of the deviance is because at one point society will deem one thing as correct or one thing as wrong. Oh no, we only have 10 minutes left. Anyway,
no.
There's a timer at the top.
It seemed like Nick.
But no, it's I like the idea of like because society, I said people back then would marry at a really young age, and considered nowadays that would be considered like being like a pedophile and stuff, because like, you know, they have like the whole like morality of like, okay, this person cannot think for themselves at this point, so like, you cannot like get married or like blah blah blah. And so it's just all of its like whole like idea of like deviance. So like back then it was deemed like acceptable or unacceptable. It's just like the whole like things change over time, you know. I just find that interesting, like how things change.
And if you were wondering, no, I wasn't defending you. If that's what you were gonna say.
Okay. Yeah. That I was worried. I didn't want you guys to go in the wrong direction, because that was not good when that was happening. Obviously.
No. It's like no, it wasn't.
Yeah. When I say things like murder isn't intrinsically wrong, I'm talking about the idea that like we value living in our life and society.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Yeah. That's the idea. It's not like society says.
We're not thinking. Yeah, we get you.
No.
I wasn't defending here. Like, I find this fascinating. Like, I find this whole thing fascinating. Like, I completely I want to hear more. If we this 8 minutes will allow us to.
8 minutes.
8 minutes and 33 seconds, but you can't see the timer, audience.
It's time to call.
Yeah, it's cropped out. Either or, we can just pause it right now and just continue going. We can like stop the recording and then hop back into a whole new one.
It's whatever. We can just go for right now. But it's like, I really like picking at your brain, because you say stuff like that, and it really doesn't like. I really don't think about stuff like that a lot of times, and then you've opened my brain. My third eye has been like.
Hold on, let me draw my third eye.
Yeah, just exactly. But it's like, obviously, like those things are definitely not good. I'd say, like, personally, I definitely wouldn't say those are like good, which I know is so controversial, right? But
hot take.
It's definitely interesting to see, like, I know you don't like agree with them, obviously. It's just like, it's good to see like someone like challenging the status quo.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Being able to not just go along with things and actually like, you know, like think, okay, yeah, like, you know, have your own mindset, have your own, you know, just, it's interesting to hear. It's interesting to hear for sure. You know, you don't like hear that every day, and that's what I think is fascinating about it.
And it's like, because I started diving in more into politics on like YouTube and everything, and I saw like your video on PragerU and everything, and how you were like, I think that was like one of the first videos I saw going against PragerU. So it was like definitely like, oof, this is gonna be spicy. But
yeah, I didn't know anything I was doing when I made that video, so I hope you didn't take anything I said in that video and apply it anywhere. That was like 7-8 months ago, and I think that month was when I first started calling myself socialist, so that's cool. But
heck yeah, you have developed your political tongue.
Where is the Russian national anthem theme? Do 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 do.
Not that kind of socialism.
No, that kind of socialism.
Okay.
Not that kind of socialism. See, I've not dived too much into political theory, just for like my own sanctity, I guess. But like from my knowledge of current politics and everything, I think I'm pretty well informed, and that's really it. I know you didn't want to talk about politics too much, Adam, so I'll keep this brief.
No, exactly. I think generally we all are informed in our own ways. Like we all have been doing a lot of research or taking the time to like research before we post stuff, I think. So I mean, yeah, we're done.
Like that's what you were talking about last time, was just like how like a lot of people like take the opportunity just to like literally infatuate themselves with literally everything going on, to where like it's not
healthy. It causes you to be stressed out, and causes you to be like, it causes people to be just, you know, stressed and depressed because they're going too deep into situations that they realize some of the stuff they cannot control, but at the same time,
average lefty.
What?
Average lefty. Yeah, we're all sad nihilist people. But
yeah,
hey,
a lot of us are.
Being sad in this household. Be happy.
I mean, I'm happy. I'm just saying the average one.
Yeah, I mean, I am left.
I'm not.
Yo, nice.
Actually,
I mean, But that's something to talk about, you know, whenever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Happiness is a social construct.
Fuck happiness. Fuck the rules.
Fuck Love by XXXTentacion.
Moonlighter. Spotlighter.
I think we need to end this episode here because I actually gotta get going soon.
Perfect. We have 4 minutes left, I guess.
Well, thank you to Mr. Lfritz for joining us. This podcast went literally everywhere.
Yeah, it went completely the opposite way we wanted, but I would have not wanted it any other way. This was perfect. Like, I love this.
No, this was fun because we all like got all of our stuff out. I guess I don't know. I would have talked more about politics, but maybe we could do that on our own.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that on our own. We can like make one specifically for that, like for our own like special unit, special little podcast.
Yeah, but like, thank you, Mr. Fritz.
Yeah. I foresee you being back on here soon enough, so thanks for being a part of this. Appreciate you, and nice. I really enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah.
Peace.
Bye.
Goodbye.